Hello and welcome to the Silverfox Hustle podcast. I'm Shasi, and by the way, we've been missing for a couple of months, but I'm back stronger and raring to go. So let's get this going and let's get this started. By the way, before we move on, if you're watching us on YouTube, please click on the follow and subscribe button. We are out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere, every podcast platform. So just click on the follow and follow us and leave a comment as well if you like the podcast. Now, today's podcast is the Football Talk episode, and over the past couple of weeks, the SYL, which is the Singapore Youth League, has been the talk of the town. If you go on social media, we have parents, we have coaches, we have everyone under the sun who loves football going on about the SYL. Good, some bad, of course, some comments, but that is why we are here. We are going to talk about it. We're going to try to dismantle some stuff about the Singapore Youth League. It kicked off, by the way, on the 24th of February. I think it's about 2 weeks ago to fanfare, and of course with many things new, there will be many questions, teething problems, and we are going to talk about that as well. Now, here to share details on the Singapore Youth League and to answer some of those tough questions is Baihaki. He is, of course, a famous person in Singapore. He is the head of planning, technical division in FAS, and of course a former national player and a former teammate of mine way back in 2003, I think. Baihaki, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Shas. Thank you so much for having me.
So how has it been the past couple of weeks? Busy, headaches?
Busy, good headaches. This was, I expected it all along. But honestly, it's satisfying.
Right.
At one point, every weekend now you can see kids smiling, running, and roaring for the game, getting ready. So I mean, these are the things where, almost 1 year of planning for the accreditation, and it leads on to the Singapore Youth League.
Yeah.
And it is something that you just sit down there and then the satisfying level is really impressive.
Right. We will talk about that, the planning stage and all, but
Sure.
I hear you went for your C license as well a couple of weeks ago.
Just last week.
Yeah. How was it? How was that experience?
It's okay. You got C, right?
I saw the photos, by the way.
All right.
What's the difference between a player and being a coach?
No, it's totally different. My friend, it's totally different. Now I can understand why our coaches back then shouted at us and giving us instructions and all that. But then, yes, of course, it's an eye-opener.
Right.
Partly the coaching course is part of the Players Concierge program.
Yeah.
I think the Players Concierge itself, it is an enhanced model of the Players Welfare program. So, like we discussed before, I think this is where we can integrate how we can give platforms to players, ex-players, international players, athlete players, and so on.
Right. Well, like I said, now we go way back to 2003 when we played together, and ironically that was your first professional season, I think, in professional football.
Correct.
And that was my last, by the way.
Really?
That was my last when a couple of players retired from football that last year as well in 2003.
Together with Eric Francis,
Lim Tong Hai, PJ as well.
PJ as well, yeah.
Right,
PJ Roberts.
So we go all the way back to 2003, and of course along the way we remain friends, and of course they went separate ways in terms of professional careers. And today is an opportunity for us to speak about the SYL, and also to speak openly as well, to be candid as possible, because obviously there are things that's been said in the local media, in social media. So let's get that out of the way. But before that, let's talk about the start of the SYL, right?
Sure.
So you are one of the heads of the project and instrumental in the start, for the start of this SYL. How did this begin and why?
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. Maybe this might sound long-winded a little bit, but
no worries.
Just to go back on the day that I stepped into office. Why management? Why not coaching? Because first of all, I don't really see myself being a coach. It's just your own choice, right? But lately during my playing career, playing abroad with some of a few clubs abroad, it gave me the impression of, this is how a big team run their clubs and all that. So bits and pieces, I get to see a little bit of what's going on behind the back, how they do planning and stuff like that. So I think that kind of give me that, I think this is your kind of surrounding, this is your kind of area of work.
Okay.
So I explore into that, and then I put myself in a people say that why you are too brave to do this.
Yeah.
I say, but it's okay. Let's try. I mean, there's no. I will make mistakes, of course, for sure. I mean, it's a learning journey. Then goes into FA, spoke to General Secretary Yazin. I mean, thanks to him and thanks to all the people in FA that they accepted me, and then the journey starts. Then after that, continue thinking about the players concierge. What can I enhance and all that. So basically, after 3 months into the job, I was given this space to create something and to show them, what's my version of thinking that is lacking in Singapore football. So there's no right, there's no wrong. I mean, it's just me being me, just trying to present, I think maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, maybe this can work, maybe that can work, that cannot work, and stuff like that. So Youth League was one of them.
Yeah.
Having an app, having a, it's all those ideas coming into play and all that. So then fast forward into me going into the technical division.
Yeah.
So actually that was the plan.
Okay.
To go myself, to prepare myself to go into technical. Planning with the national teams, international matches, FIFA windows, FIFA matches, working closely with national coach Nishigaya, also women's coach, TD at the same time. So here comes Michael Brown, right? Then somehow when I came into the technical department, Michael Brown was there. Then we traveled together, we watched the EFF under 16, we go to women's tournaments and so on. And slowly along the way, we discussed things. He wanted to find out more about the landscape of youth football in Singapore. So obviously a lot of discussion was made. So then I kind of whatever that he's seeing, I'm seeing the same thing. So there we go. We try to chart something, and then we need to find a solution, right? I mean, it could be a solution, it could be a new thing. At the end of the day, this is something that we want to implement.
Right.
So Michael Brown himself, of course, I have 1,001 questions to him. I mean, being him, he's from Qatar. He came from Qatar, Aspire Academy. It's something which is huge. And, a lot of his players, when he handled them back then, made it to the World Cup squad.
Okay.
And these stories are nice inspiration, right? So, you take points here and there, you try to form up, and then you try to see your local landscape, and we try to create a model that probably could work for us. So then there it goes, come into planning, and then we introduce the academy accreditation system, which we will touch on later on. Fast forward into the SYL, which is one of the pillars of the accreditation. So these teams will get accredited and they participate in the Singapore Youth League. Now, why SYL, right? That's the question. Okay, first of all, again, if I can just throw back a little bit during my time traveling across the region, countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, what are the similarities we have with them? Okay, they are huge. The numbers are big. This is a numbers game. So this, you and I probably could agree on this, that we always have this, fantasy that we want to have more talent on the ground. Probably 50, 100 is not enough. This has been always the conversation on the ground, be it coaches, be it academy owners, be it, national, whatever, coffee shops and all that. We need more talent, we need more players and all that. So we try to find a solution to that. We try to find the recipe to that. Okay, is it perfect? I don't think so. Can it be better? Yes, of course it can be better. Things like I also believe that, before we even go into SYL, how many teams are playing right now, we need to first understand that we geographically we are Singapore. This is only so much that we can do. There's certain numbers of facilities, and we need to work with it. I mean, we have no choice. You and I. Same in this room podcast. We are doing this as well. So into the SYL, the whole goal is objective is thick. We want to have a bigger pool of players on the ground. Now, there goes, we from under 8, previously, Sasi, you and I, we go for trials, right? Under 13, under 14, whatever. We go for trials, maybe 5 of us, 6 of us, we go as friends together. Hey, let's go. Let's go to, Tanjung Pagar, let's go. let's go for trials, and then 2 of us got selected and 3 of us not get selected.
Right.
And then you have this like then after that, if you can remember, 1 month later, 5 of you start splitting now.
Yep.
The 2 of you have the same schedule. The 3 of you,
Yep.
the 3 of them become like
Yep.
they have training, they have this,
Yep.
they have that, and they end up playing with. They still play football, but they play with some
Right.
unorganized,
Yeah.
kind of settings and all that.
Yep.
Then that's where you can feel that, hey, they are in the elite side.
Mm.
I'm on the different side.
Mm.
And then we start to compare. So for me, I want to change that.
Yep.
I feel that every kid from 8 years old to 17 years old, they should be saying the same thing, and they are part of something which is the same.
Right.
If you are playing for S4L, I'm playing for S4L as well.
Mm.
I don't want them to miss the boat. I don't want them to feel left out.
Okay.
So that's why the tagline of the game is tagline of the S4L is "Welcome to the game." Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the COE.
Mm.
The COE used to have 6 teams. Yep, 6, 7 teams. To be fair,
The club teams.
The club teams, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Club teams, youth teams.
Yeah.
The youth teams,
Yes.
the COE. We have under 15s, under 17s.
Yeah.
Some of them close those days, and then they change the age groups. Now, assuming 2 teams now, two age categories, 6 teams times 20 per team.
Yep.
Say 120, 240. You have 240 kids in your talent pool.
Yep.
Now, every Saturday and Sunday, we have 3,800 kids playing football.
Yep.
So this is another thing that we can look at now, and we can say that, all right, this is the way to go. Okay, we check the box.
Right.
Now we got this.
Right.
Same as well, the same process of you want to build a house.
Yep.
You need to have your foundation before anything else goes on top of it. So it's the same. So we found that. Moving forward, of course, we understand. Now, you have 200 teams. You have 220 teams.
Yeah.
You expect people to come to you.
Yep,
The next thing, of course, it shouldn't be perfect for everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody have different problems.
Yep.
So this is where the challenge comes. This is where, how can we keep those challenges? How we know we are meeting them. We are meeting those challenges. We are going towards the challenges, the problems. So I feel that, we are week 3. We are in week 3 right now. Coming week 3. Coming week 3.
Yeah.
So it's a new product altogether.
Right.
It is. I'm happy, to be honest.
Right.
A lot of parents. I did my rounds Saturdays, Sundays.
Yep.
Trying to get parents' feedbacks, coaches. Yeah, some of them say, yeah, I mean, it's nice, it's good. I like the settings and all that. I mean, we changed certain for under 8 we put 5v5 instead of some leagues they put it 7v7. So more touches on the ball, they get more time and all that. Yeah. So I think if I answer your answer,
of course you did. And just catching on whatever
Yes,
whatever you said, right? The probably the things that I picked up the most. Number 1, in terms of widening the talent pool, making it a bigger pool so that you can obviously choose more players for whatever reasons, a national team and whatever. So, especially you're talking about the older age group, the COE levels, right? So obviously now with more teams, with academies coming in to play in the COE, obviously it's a bigger pool. That's
exactly
that is exactly what you said, and you're right. We need to pick players from a wider pool. Rather than a smaller one. So the COE part that's a great move, obviously. Now the reason why I just want you to touch on the reason why there is a wider talent pool now is because all the other so-called smaller academies can then now join in the league instead of last time it was only like you said, the club teams playing in the COE league. So that's one. And we talked about because of the other academies joining the league. Obviously, like you said just now, you gave an example of me and you going for a trial, and you don't get, and if let's say if I don't get a place in that academy, I go on to another academy.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bigger,
bigger pool. Yeah. Everybody belongs to the same flag.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So that's a great move. Exactly. Okay. Now, I just want to ask you, and this is the elephant in the room. I was talking about on social media as well, right?
Yeah.
This 4 letters JSSL, right?
Okay.
Now, what is the difference between JSSL and the SYL? If you can just tell us.
Well, to be honest, Shaz, we can't hide about it.
Yep.
I mean, JSSL has been there
Right.
for the past years.
Yep.
I even told Harvey, I even told them, told the staff as well. We cannot hide from the fact that they have been the one proactive on the ground.
Yep.
Right? So here we are looking at, the difference. If I can say the difference, I mean, the difference is not really difference. It's still football.
Right.
It's still mass football, mass
Right.
participation for the kids and all that. But why we set this is because we feel that this is more towards developing the kids.
Okay.
Well, I understand JSSL and probably other leagues that's available in Singapore. I think it's more towards like a platform for them to play.
Right.
Right? But of course, a platform, there comes a price tag
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
So I think not everybody can afford those platforms.
Right.
So then comes, we need to ask ourselves, right, that actually we should be proactive from day one.
Yep.
Setting up the grassroots, and I
Yep.
feel we are responsible for that.
Yep.
For that, and also now we have other components that comes in play. Your talent ID,
Right.
the junior NDC, your
Right.
NDC teams,
Right.
and your national age group teams.
Yep.
So, these are the elements that
Yep.
we kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
these are places for the kids to go.
Right.
Now, before they get there, where do they play, right? So this is where we need to get everybody now
Right.
to come under the umbrella of the AAS.
Yes.
So to speak, it's like a membership of the FA. And then we can now say, all right, we have the numbers now. Then we can now plot into to create pathway for them.
Right.
Now, this is more pathway centric versus, if I can put it, commercial, or if I can put it maybe just fun,
Right.
and fun and play for those normal
Yep.
other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is not to say anything against JSSL. I think JSSL, if you're watching this, anyone from JSSL, you've been doing a great job as well.
Of course,
so
yes.
and the fact that you guys are coexisting, with the
Correct.
SYL, I think speaks
Correct.
volumes. So I think we got to move on. I think we can't just speak about this for the longest of times and then nothing goes on, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
so we got to move on and we got to
Correct.
take it forward. Now, what are the challenges you faced, when you were trying to set up the SYL, like from day one till now? Now, small little things, I'm sure there's always going to be challenges, but what were the major challenges you faced? I think you spoke about one in terms of facilities, right? I mean, you got 1,000 odd players or whatever.
Correct.
And then the number of facilities, and so that could be one of those major challenges you face, right, in terms of fixtures.
Correct. So, Shaz, you said the SYL alone, you said the concept of it is inclusivity.
Yep.
So we want to bring everybody on board.
Yep.
Now, speaking of that, this is where we ourselves, as organizers, as stakeholders, we need to come together as well.
Yep.
Now, knowing that SYL is a national project, I mean, it's part of UTR, Sports SG, I mean, and us, FA, coming together as one. I think I'm really happy and grateful to see that, every individual organization is actually putting in and playing their role, really. Sports SG providing stadiums
Yep.
and all that, and prioritizing.
Yeah.
Am I right to say?
Yes.
Yeah, prioritizing us,
Right.
SYL and other things. Well, we can also understand that there's other sports as well that that need to use those facilities as
True.
well. But moving along, fine. Things, as long as we move, as long we kick off the SYL,
Yeah.
we know problems will come. Just
Right.
we can't find a perfect.
Sorry.
Please.
Can I ask you something? Do you think then that because we need to start something, right?
Of course.
Do you think that we started a little bit too soon? I don't know. Were you pushing for something like a deadline or something like that? Anything like that?
Actually, not really though. To
Yeah.
be honest, it is nice. We work backwards though.
right.
We have
Yeah.
a proper timeline. We work
Okay.
from backwards.
Okay.
So our target was, we started discussing about this since February 2023.
Okay.
And our target is March. Yeah, this
Okay,
time,
okay.
24.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to kick off 24.
Right.
Yep, probably a lot of people can say anything and everything. I mean, I hear parents, coaches also telling me, I say, "Bye, it's okay, it's good. I don't mind the players because this is a new thing for us. Even in terms of challenges of the pitch,
Yeah.
protocols,
Right.
administrations.
Right.
Suddenly now, from you have a simple and easy, flexible rules,
Yeah.
and you have now suddenly
Yeah.
almost equivalent to SPL and
Yes.
AFC
Yes.
kind of.
It's
level
massive.
of-
It's massive.
It's massive, right?
Yeah.
So of course, do we actually leave them dry? No, come on. We need to guide them, of course.
Yeah.
This is where we feel that. That's why the AES is there. Allow me to show you. I mean, I will explain to you more of the components of the AES. So one of those is also to guide them to form and structurally grow as an academy, as a local academy. Because knowing that at the end of the day, Shaz, I mean, we need to grow our own talent pool.
Right.
We need to understand that. Because why? For the past 2 weeks now, and trust me, you already start seeing it.
Yep.
You know, from other teams, and it's like, hey, where this boy come from? I mean,
Exactly.
those things are happening.
Yep.
So that's really exciting, right?
Yeah, and you just mentioned it, AAS, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. AAS is the accreditation system, right?
Correct.
Of the academies.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Please.
Now, so this came about so that you can assess the academies that's in Singapore, and how do you assess them, and what is the criteria?
Okay. Number one, when we did the accreditation, we felt that, all right, the main reason here is laymantum is for us to actually feel that, all right, make sure they are a team, they are an organization, right? So then after that, I mean, we cannot be bringing somebody from
the bus stop.
Come, Shaz, come, void deck team, come, let's play. You know,
Right.
we can't do
Okay.
that. I mean, just for joking. But then yes, the AAS is there for them to actually apply.
Okay.
All right, what's in store for them?
Okay.
Now, we put 3 levels.
Okay.
Level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, of course, different levels have varies
Okay.
with different rules, and I mean, not say rules, but then submission of their
Yep.
documentations and all that.
Yep.
Then they enter into the accreditation, and then they choose. I don't select for them. Let them choose.
Okay.
I allow them to
choose what exactly?
choose the levels
Okay.
of the accreditation.
Okay.
So basically, it's like your hawker center, right? You have A, B, C,
Okay.
right? You grade yourself,
Okay.
right? So we will then tier you accordingly with how much you have the documentation.
Okay, wait.
Yes,
So
yes.
let me get this straight. So let's say now I'm an owner of an academy.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you are coming to assess.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
So you are asking me how do I rate myself first?
No. I will give you the application form.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
In the application form,
Right.
there's 3 levels in.
Okay.
Then you look at yourself and you choose.
Okay.
Now, how well you want to grade yourself.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the accreditation also can be part of a marketing tool for academies as well.
Okay.
Because this is where I, as a parent now,
All right.
if I come to your academy and now suddenly I say, hey, Shasi's academy, level 3, solid lah.
Okay.
Everything. So this is where organization-wise, structure-wise, parents feel, all right.
Okay, I have a question now.
Please.
Let's say if on the form I put a level 1 is the best.
Level 3.
Level 3. So I put myself as level 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come in and you assess,
Yeah.
I'm a level 1. So how? You are you
No. To be honest, I haven't come across yet.
Are you sure?
Really.
Okay.
Like for me, to be honest, I'm quite surprised though.
Okay.
Really. Let's bring one or two names
Okay.
here on and I apologize if
Right.
this is for the right things.
Okay.
Soaring Dreams.
Okay.
I've never heard of them before,
Me too.
but solid.
Are they soaring?
Of course, they
Okay.
have 3 of the players are in NDC.
Right. Okay.
So, is it working? Yes, it's working.
Okay.
Are they providing players? Are they
Okay.
grooming players?
Right.
They are grooming players.
Right.
They just signed Jumat Jantan as their
Okay.
head of academy.
Okay.
Are they growing? They are growing.
Okay.
Are they showing form of they want to be involved? Yes, they are showing.
Okay.
So another side, Flair Academy,
Mm.
totally purely local.
Yep.
I know him, Ibrahim. Well, but again, these are examples of there are academies out there.
Okay.
And there are academies that are potentially now they are actually doing things like whatever you said just now, the 5 guys. Oh, sorry, whatever I mentioned just now, the 5 guys that goes to trial together.
Okay.
So these are the guys that end up in a much proper organized team other than the COE teams.
Okay.
They get to be a part of something which is special but not in the COE.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Just going back to the levels, right? So
Yes.
so what are the criteria?
Okay.
Yeah. As you want to share, right? So what are the criteria that goes into assessing academy?
Okay, we follow the AFC model.
Okay.
All right. So this is level 1, level 2, level 3.
Okay.
Academies also can have, they can also not say jump ship, but then they can also progress.
Okay.
If they want to go for AFC 1 star, by all means.
Right.
So like what JDT did,
Okay.
what PVF Vietnam did,
Okay.
Lion City Sailors,
Right.
I think they are on
Yep.
2 stars now.
Yes.
So that's the accreditation.
Right.
That is to show that how organized you are in terms of administrative and also on the facilities, the pitch and all that.
Right,
the
right,
programs
right,
and all that.
right.
So we have 13 categories,
Okay.
if I'm not wrong. 13 categories.
Yep.
Your planning, your organization,
Okay.
coaching,
Right.
staff,
Right.
org chart,
Right.
and your what do you call it, child safeguarding and all that.
Yep.
So these are important things which
course.
have been always updated through FIFA and also AFC.
Okay.
So
Okay.
which is important in today's world.
Right. And listen, I think this is a good move, obviously. You know, and I said this on social media as well. You got to academies have got to be accountable.
Understand.
Especially you are dealing with kids.
Correct.
You're dealing with parents. You're dealing with emotions as well. You don't wanna you don't wanna be killing a kid's dreams, and especially if you're running the academy poorly. You know,
Correct.
so I think that's very important. I want to touch on this fact, and let's get to some difficult questions, some tough tackling questions, and I'm sure you will be.
I hope I can answer that.
I'm sure you will. Okay, I just want to touch on the accreditation, especially with coaching, as with respect to coaching, because I'm so passionate about that part of it.
Sure, please.
You know, and
Please.
I'm a coach as well, and I'm a coach developer as well. I want to touch on this as well. It's very, very important because of the product and the services that you are providing as an academy. It's very, very important.
Correct.
Right. So the product is obviously the football.
Of course.
And the
Yes.
service that you provide is the coaching.
Correct.
So the coaching bit, to me, has got to be one of the most important aspects when you are, assessing an academy. You know,
Correct.
I think that's very important. And I also know that you are trying to push for most of these coaches from the academies who are not yet, what would you call, licensed yet,
Yeah,
to
correct.
go on,
Exactly.
to push them on to go for this license, because I think it is very, very important that
Of course.
they are qualified, because
Exactly.
just take teaching, for example.
Correct.
You don't send your son to a school without teachers who are qualified. It's the same
Correct.
thing here, right?
Correct,
So is there any plans to really upgrade? Because I'm sure there are academies out there, and I'm sorry, academies, but I'm just stating the facts, and if you are not happy with it, it's really the truth, right?
Yeah,
Some academies do not have coaches who are qualified. So are there any plans to go on and push them on? Because I think this cannot go on, because it's the first season, no problems.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Shaz, that is why the AS, the accreditation, is very, very important. All right. Since February 2023, I've met 52 academies individually,
Okay.
not as a group,
Okay.
individually,
Yep.
because I need to know all their back-end stories,
Yep.
what's happening, what do you have now, what is your plan, etc., etc. Right? Now, from there, I need their honesty, I need their objective, what is their goal,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
So now then you can somehow picture that, all right, we have things that can move. Now
Yeah.
they need something, obviously. Well, you and I know how long we have, how much we are trying to, and a lot of other people also trying to apply for coaching courses
Yes,
and all that.
yes.
Right? Now this is where the accreditation comes in. One of the pillar is called the coaching development.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Now it is my job to ensure that they have proper coaching licenses at every age group that they are coaching.
Brilliant.
All right. Having said that, we know they are honest to us. I say, some of my coaches are part-timers. They don't have time to take the courses and all that. Fine. All in all, fine. No worries. We try to understand them. So now this is where the coaching courses comes in. Just for the accreditation, just for the accredited academies.
Okay.
All right. Those who don't have certs, they will start with grassroots.
Okay.
Those who have grassroots, they want to upgrade to ICC.
Right.
ICC, they will upgrade to C, and
Yep.
so on and so forth.
Right.
Having said that, due to that, we are giving a 2-year runway
Okay.
for all these academies. Hopefully, by 2026, they could now elevate their level or coaching
Yep.
qualifications,
Yep.
same as the COE, SPL clubs.
Yep.
That's the whole goal. That's the whole target, I hope.
Excellent.
Yep,
You know, the reason why I'm asking you this, and then we need to clear the air as well, because there's people talking as well, and it is very important because you said it at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a difference between playing and coaching.
Of course.
Just imagine the difference between being a parent and coaching. It's you know there are differences. So it's a good move. So you gotta really make this happen in the next 2 years or so.
We are rolling actually. I mean, just for discussion's sake, we are rolling the coaching courses right after Hari Raya.
Nice.
So that will be our first AS. ICC.
Right.
Your grassroots coaching, C license and all
Nice.
that. Yeah, we have 2 years to plan. Yeah, no worries.
Well, the next the next issue we want to talk about.
I can see you.
It's not from me. It's out in the open, my friend.
It's okay. No worries.
Fixtures, kickoff timings.
Okay. All right.
So obviously the fixtures kick off at from morning all the way till 4 o'clock is the last kickoff timing or something like that.
4.
So the problem arose when I think one of the players in one of the academies got heat stroke. From playing at on the 2 p.m. kickoff. I understand, right?
Correct.
So the main concern was the heat stroke affecting the player, and just to digress, right? There are comments on social media, and you actually take your time to actually answer them.
Okay.
Is it a planned thing that I'm going to answer all this in the best way possible, or is just like an instinctive thing? Because in a way it's good, but in a way as well, you might want to protect yourself. I don't know, right? So so is it a planned thing that you want to answer and
No, for me, Shasi, it's this.
Right.
I think we football players, we are as candid as we can.
Yep.
In the changing room, we speak facts.
Yep.
We try to, be straightforward and direct as we can. I mean, for me, it's just my instinct that kicks in. It's not really emotional. For me, it's just that, because that's the thing. That's the difference between reading a comment and us talking now.
Yep.
Because we know each other's tone.
Yep.
We know each other's impression, expression, and all that, right? So, for me, probably how people will see it.
Yeah.
Well, from an organization perspective, yes, of course, people might take it and change it into something else and all that. So for me, yes, I should be a bit careful, but my intention is clear.
Yeah, of course.
My intention is pretty clear.
No, I think to be fair, your comments and your answers were not rude or anything. You were just basically answering the question, and that's it.
Correct.
Now, just to answer that 2 p.m. kickoff. So, is there anything been done at the moment?
Okay, speaking of 2 p.m., right? Okay, I know, I understand. To be honest, it has been hot, really. It has been super hot lately, man.
Yep.
Raining in the evening, and suddenly,
right.
Coming back to that. Yes, we knew, like I said, we start the league.
Yeah.
We learn as we go.
Yep.
Things happen along the way. Fine, we rectify it.
Yep.
There will be more things coming.
Of course.
Again, we try to rectify it. So this is the beauty of it. I think really all of them, giving feedbacks and all that. Yes, of course, we don't want things to happen. We try to avoid that. But also, sometimes this is an education for all of us.
Right.
Even from our side, even from the academy side, just, I mean, come on, we had our morning 7:30.
Oh, yes.
The piping hot, scorching hot, East Coast run.
Box-to-box runs.
Box-to-box, McRitchie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. We had that as well. But of course, we will understand them. Again, the newer academies, probably they are not exposed playing at that timing.
You're right.
Probably they are, they are so used to probably playing at 5 to 7.
Yeah. Okay.
So because coming back to the facilities, I mean, Singapore is such a size that we need to manage.
Yeah.
How I wish we can have other more bigger size of a country that we can actually plan and have more facilities, and we can play all the games in the afternoon. But having 220, 230 teams, and you need to really segregate and put accordingly. Yeah. It is tough. Yep. Come on, let's be open with it. It's tough.
Yep.
So we try our best, and yes, things happen. For me, time is time, but actually sometimes at 2 p.m. you have your 31, 20, 30, 28 degrees as well. So for me, if we can look at the temperature, so it's a temperature thing now, right now.
Right.
So I think this is where we have already we are tackling it. We are coming up with the heat management policies as well.
Yep.
Trying to move games into probably after 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are looking
towards
into that.
that.
We are moving towards that.
Okay.
Really, at the end of the day, Shaz, again, inclusivity. Everybody, they give feedback. All right, we act accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's great, right? I think it's worse when you probably know that something is not right and then you just go ahead with it.
Exactly.
And now you're receiving feedback and you're trying to accommodate as much as possible and
Exactly.
trying to help out as well. So it's a
Correct.
good thing that you're trying to push, I think, the kickoff time to slightly later. So
Correct.
that's one of the ways. And listen, I've been reading, right? And I think this is in the protocols of the Sport SG one, I think. So sports organisers should refrain from having events from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And listen, these are just protocols as well.
Guidelines,
Guidelines. And trust me, there are league matches being played at 12 p.m. My son plays every weekend at 12 p.m. So,
Alright.
we need to take things or bring things into play as well, and there are things that you can do to mitigate this.
Exactly.
For example, sheltered areas for
Correct.
subs, more
Exactly.
drinking,
More drinking session, more break time.
more break times,
Yes,
those
correct.
kind of things. And I noticed one. I
Yep.
think you need to put out shelters for the subs.
Yes, of course.
I think the
Of
subs are
course.
sitting in the shade. Sorry, not in the shade, in the hot sun at the side.
As in at the St. Wilfred?
At Serangoon Stadium as well.
Serangoon Stadium, okay.
Yeah, so
Alright.
so I think that's one of the feedback I can give you at least
Sure,
for now.
no problem.
I think that's
Yeah.
important as we go on.
Correct.
Now, next thing I want to talk about, and this has been huge as well. It is as huge as the huge scorelines.
Okay.
Right?
Fine.
So let's tackle this questions
Please, no
from
problem.
whoever
Sure.
can be, right? Huge scorelines. These are called the classification rounds.
Correct.
So you would expect huge
Exactly.
scorelines,
Exactly.
right? So what do you have to say about this?
Okay. When we planned for the league, right, we were planning to straight away kick off with the first, second, and third division straight away.
Okay.
Now, depending on the accreditation level,
Okay,
we want to use that
Yep.
as a guideline,
Yeah.
as something that we can take reference from.
Yep.
But then at the same time, we also knew that, some would think that it's unfair.
Okay.
That, hey, I too can play in first division. I can compete in second division as well. Why am I being... So to avoid this is where let's be fair to everybody. Let's give everybody a chance
Okay.
to actually see for themselves
Okay.
where they are actually, which level.
Okay.
Now, do you agree with that? You agree with that?
I think the idea is good.
Yeah.
Of course, the idea is good
Yeah,
because
right.
you are thinking that, okay, maybe the so-called smaller academies might think that,
Yeah.
why are they putting me in Division 3 when we can start
Exactly.
off at a level playing field,
Exactly.
right? But of course, then
Yeah.
it becomes a problem because of the huge score lines.
Correct.
So that you got to balance both.
True.
Now, I actually wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
could you have done it better? And you already answered me by saying that at first you wanted to put the so-called established academies together in Division 1
correct.
first. And my opinion is, I think maybe you could have done that. Don't worry about what they think because you are doing it for them. The reason why I'm telling you this is because you know what happens when teams lose by huge margins. We are not talking about the margins itself. It's kids will always want to win games.
Of course.
Coaches will understand.
Of course,
But
I understand that.
players, even parents might think differently. They
Yes,
might think,
understand.
hey, come on, we can't get
We can't
beat
get
by
yeah,
25-0
of
all.
course, yeah.
So the morale of the players get hit.
Confidence,
The
yes,
confidence as
correct.
well. So I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah.
There's two parts of it, right?
Right.
Now, number one is the organization of it,
Yeah.
how you organize it. Now, like you said, like I mentioned just now, fair. We want to be fair to everybody. So we did a draw.
Yeah.
We put everybody in different pots and
Right.
all that.
Right.
And it's nice, really. It's,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
interesting, really, to see different pots. Teams
Yeah.
are getting drawn into different groups.
Yeah.
Then from then on, Shaz, in their group, they will play between them. Then the top three of each group
Yeah.
now will form the Division 1.
Right.
Now, the classification will only happen once.
Yep.
It will never happen again.
For the first round, basically. Yeah.
Second year, third year, fourth year, nothing, zero.
Yep.
So any newcomer will straight away join the
Great.
third division and then they will
Yep.
climb their way up.
Yeah.
Now, the scorelines. I experienced something which I went to Absolute Football Academy.
Okay.
I think it's in my post. I went to Jurong East. Some of the parents are already saying like what you were saying, exactly the same. They felt that, why do we have to go through this and the kids, this and that. So I went down. I felt that it is a duty for me to explain to them. I took this initiative, and from the start, you need to really keep on, making people understand. Because why? Number one, like I mentioned just now, it's a totally new game for them.
Yeah.
On the pitch, off the pitch, settings, everything is new.
Yeah.
Now, of course, expectations, right?
Yeah.
So this is where I explain to the parents. I say, look, parents, okay, this is the classification now, why it happened, because of so and so. Then comes into the football development part. Now, this is where from 8 years old to 10 years to 12, this is where we are focusing more. Okay, not on results, but then of course everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
Now, but from a technical point, of course you are trying to look at the technicalities of these players. Allow them game time, let them expose themselves. Let it out, try to find their ways and all that.
Yeah.
And from there, slowly they will grow.
Yeah.
Parents were receptive.
Yeah.
They were thankful. They kind of like, but you don't need to do this. I said, no, I need to do this. I said, I need to make all of you understand. I wish I can do something which is perfect, but no one have the perfect plan.
Yeah.
At some point, certain teams must go through this.
Yeah.
Now that's one side of things.
Right.
Now the other side of things, I have teams and academies that says, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
My boys need to feel this.
Yeah.
They need to understand this.
Right.
They need to understand what is. I mean, not say losing. They don't want to lose, but these score lines.
Yeah.
Again, Shaz, speaking of course, we understand now when we speak of scorelines with the existence of JDT. Now, JDT is there. I can say for myself, teams are very happy. I said this is the only chance they can play against teams like JDT.
Yep.
Of that level, of that
Yeah.
Organization. You and I, we can agree now.
Right.
So I feel that yes, it's painful, but then at the same time we also know that this is not going to be forever.
Yep.
Because once they get into their respective divisions, then they will have this same alignment of same standards and same level of play.
Right.
Yeah, this is just once, just to segregate the teams.
Parents, coaches, academies, keyboard warriors, critics, commenters on FB and IG, you heard it. This is only going to happen once, and just move on, because it's going to be it's going to happen once. The teams are going to be put in their respective divisions based on levels, the quality of the teams, and we got to move on. So out of the way. Brilliant.
Thanks.
The other thing that I touched on, or you touched on actually, is the good part, where you went on to explain to the
Parents,
academies and the parents as well.
Correct.
I think the academies, coaches, and the people who are leading the academies have a very big role to play in this part as well.
Exactly.
Because all you need to do is explain to them, explain to the kids, explain to the parents. This is a one-off thing. We've got to move forward and learn as much as possible. You're going to get whacked 10-0. Believe me, in the SPL, teams get whacked 8-0, 7-0 as well.
True, it happens.
It
right?
happens
Yeah,
in the EPL as well. So we gotta push on and get over it.
Exactly.
Correct. Next one I want to talk about is the technical part, right? The formats, the 11v11s and all. And I've got one question, or not a question. It's a feedback from a coach, right? Like they were saying that the under 13 starts off with the 11v11, right? I'm talking about coaches. They were saying that it's a little bit too big a pitch for them, because they're playing at the main.
I'm hearing something similar.
Stadium field, right?
Yes.
The normal stadium field, the big pitch, 11v11 under 13s.
Correct.
So I think I don't know.
It's a big.
It's big, right?
It's big.
Okay.
It's big.
Again. And guys, Bai is here and he's agreeing. So we are moving along. We are trying to pick up things. We are trying to learn from things, and I'm sure there are going to be changes soon.
Yes, correct.
Right?
We spoke about that.
Yeah.
I think because when we go for matches and all that, we can see how much these players at this age they struggle to actually cover those spaces.
Correct.
And because it's huge, right?
Correct.
So then we look into the format of school games. Your C divisions, they are 13 years old as well.
Yep.
And then we get reference. TD is getting looking from our counterparts as well.
Right.
What are the best choice moving forward.
Right.
So, speaking of that as well, we are also looking at the ball size as well.
Oh, yes.
We could go from size 5 to size 4.
I think the goalpost size as well for the younger ones.
Yeah, for the younger ones.
Because
yes, correct.
because I think I think it's a general guideline. I got it from a coach as well, an experienced coach, that the goalkeepers at that younger age, they must be able to touch the crossbar. And I think some shorties like me cannot touch the crossbar at that age.
Then don't play goalkeeper.
Yeah, so that is something that you could look at as well. But listen, to be fair to SYL, I'm just looking at the England FA's model with the formats, right?
Yes.
I think from under 13 onwards, they're playing 11v11. I'm just reading it here, so I don't know whether it's true or not, but I got this from the website. So yeah, to be fair, in terms of the numbers, probably could be right, but I think the size.
The pitch size.
The size.
11v11 is okay.
Yeah, I think it's the size.
Pitch size,
right,
yes, correct.
Right. Brilliant. Ball size as well.
Ball size as well. Correct.
Yep.
We are looking at that as well, because you see, Shaz, I mean, at the end of the day is you need to monitor things.
Of course.
You see, when you are on the ground, you start looking at differences. You have a 13-year-old who is, I'm so sorry, is short.
Yeah.
And you have a 13-year-old that's grown up, right?
Yeah.
So for this segment of kids, you can see that they are struggling.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So do we now say that you got no choice but you have to do it? No. Of course we try to get everybody, because why? Because we want them to potentially give their true potential.
Right.
By playing the game.
Right.
So we will have adjustments. For sure.
Nice.
For sure we will have.
Yeah, I think that is good that you guys are actually taking in feedback, and of course with the technical side of things, then you can look at all the technical people at your department to look at things, and I think things will go on right from there. But anything you want to say? Any changes specifically that I haven't mentioned in terms of problems that you face that you are probably going to change? I don't know. Just off the top of your head, any changes you're going to make?
Okay. Changes.
Ramadan coming.
Changes.
Is there going to be?
Ramadan coming. We are touching on Ramadan as well.
Okay.
We know that the certain kickoff timing is not according to their some favors as well. So we are adjusting also for Ramadan.
Right.
We are pushing the games more towards nearing the fasting break of time.
Right.
So we are actually doing that.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, we are now trying to form the SYL girls category for
Nice.
next year.
Okay.
So together with UTR and also the FAS women's football department.
Okay.
So now we are trying to get all the teams now. So the work starts now, like how I met them 1 year ago, meet all of the academies and all that. So the same process will start. We will try to gather the girls team. And then we will come up with a plan, with a timeline. Then hopefully we can start off with an age group of between 12 to 13 to 14. And we can have 10 teams. Then we go. Then we will go again. So this is the next plan right now.
Nice.
Thirdly, we are hoping. I'm hearing feedbacks from the ground as well, that it is also healthy that if you can have every age group, you can grow age groups. So under 7, under 8, under 9, under 10, under 11, under 12.
So where are we going to play, man?
Of course. Yeah.
Open up the void decks, man.
Brother, school pitches, what have you? So it's good. It's good. People are talking about it. People are giving ideas. People are giving suggestions. Well, it's all and fine. At the end of the day, it is healthy. People are talking. We are now working together. I mean, for the longest time, right? We are not. I mean, we are trying to work towards something. And I feel that everybody has the same. Is connected in one way or another. So I really hope, man, this is the start for the greatest awareness and positivity for Singapore football.
Nice. One last question, Bai.
Please.
Where does the SYL go from here, man? Where do you envision this SYL to go in probably the next 2, 3, 4 years?
For me, I think this is going to be the league to stay on for the next, I think, 5, 10 years. I want it to be forever, if I can say. Because I think this is where it creates so much hype and awareness for kids. Shaz, we can speak about all the external matters, the external factors that probably we adults, talk about. But the kids never question anything. The kids put their heart and soul and their fun and their enjoyment onto the pitch. It's just us adults talking about, you know, the external factors and matters and all that. But it's all and fine. You know, now every morning, sorry to all parents, every morning now have to prepare the jerseys tomorrow.
Right,
you know,
right,
my
right.
son was 8 years old. Friday night, Daddy, tomorrow my jersey.
Yep.
Mommy, please. So
Yeah.
you see, it's a new family thing.
Yeah.
It becomes a routine right now.
Yeah.
So I really look forward for more.
Looking at that, right, I have a feedback, right?
Yes,
A
please.
suggestion.
What are you facing?
Open up some curry pop stall at the stadium, man.
Actually,
For the parents,
Brother,
for
actually
drink stall or whatever.
Brother, you're speaking of this. Really, it really crossed my mind. Really,
Uh-huh.
it crosses my mind. I I feel like proposing to them now because when I look at the layout, obviously people start thinking now, right?
Yeah.
Hey, why can't we have like a push cart?
It's just like a sports day, right?
Exactly.
You know, the Milo van
Exactly,
and whatever.
Milo van and all that. Yes.
Yeah, that could be something for the near future, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that would be great.
Obviously, that is something that we will want to push forward.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
hopefully.
Bye. Thanks for being here. I know you.
Do I answer all your questions?
Yeah, you know,
Okay,
and
alright.
actually those questions you answered not only for me, it's for
Of course,
everyone
for
who's
everybody,
watching,
yeah, for
who's
everybody.
listening to this, and obviously for those of you who are watching and listening to this, if you have more questions to ask, you can go through me and I can ask by direct and as you can see from today's episode, he's more than willing to answer any questions, be it good, be it bad, you know, and take in some suggestions as well, and that has been great. So, thank you very much for being here.
Brother, thank you so much.
It has been a wonderful episode, and I
Thank you
hope
so
that the
much.
SYL move forward and grow to be bigger,
Yes,
widen the
hopefully.
talent pool, and hopefully starting from this year, the players that you see, maybe the under 8s, maybe 10s, 12s, you could see some of them playing for the national team in the near future.
Exactly.
That is exactly what
But I have
Yeah,
one
yeah.
happy problem.
one happy problem
Some now teams are signing up. More new teams are.
for what for
For
the
next year.
nice, because
Yes.
they've seen what's going on, and
Correct. So
Brilliant.
accreditation as well.
Exactly.
So they start asking, and then
Exactly.
now, we are going into that now. Yeah.
thank you so much, bye. And this has been the Football Talk episode of the Silverfox Hustle podcast. Do not forget, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and click on the subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Till we meet again, the hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. Cheers.